I am excited to welcome you to Secrets of Public Speaking. My name is Joseph Jacob. Today, we'll focus on the 4 elements that will help you spice up your speech. In our last video, we looked at 2 ways you can present your speech. It's either you present your speech extemporaneously or you read your script. Whichever way you choose to present your speech, the 4 elements we are going to discuss in today's video will help you to spice up your speech. The first one is eye contact. Many people find it difficult to look at the audience while delivering their speech. In fact, they prefer not to look at the audience because having that eye contact with the audience will intimidate them and scare them witless. But the truth remains that it is important you maintain eye contact with your audience. The reason is because in some cultures, when people speak to you and deliberately avoid looking at your face, it means that person is dishonest. So, when you deliver your speech and avoid looking at your audience, most of them might start thinking that what you are telling them is not true. So it's important you look at your audience. And in looking at your audience, you are not supposed to just see them as a group of people. Pay attention to some in your audience individually. Look at one person's face and say a sentence. Look at another person's face and say another sentence. Look at another person's face and say another sentence. While doing so, you are not just looking at the audience as a group of people, rather you are also paying individual attention to members of the audience. It's very good because it will help you to develop that strong bond with your audience. You know, when we come to eye contact, the extemporaneous delivery is superior because you spent less time looking at your speech and most of the times looking at your audience. So that bond will be there between you and your audience. However, there is a note of caution. In some culture, like in Africa, when you look into the eyeballs of someone that is older than you for a long time, it might be seen as being rude. So, be brief when you look at someone's face and move to another person's face. Another point is that when the person you are looking at is someone of the opposite sex, when you continue to stare for an extended period of time, it might be misunderstood to mean that you have an immoral intent. So you must make sure that your eye contact is not longer than necessary. The second thing that will spice up your speech is your choice of words. Use the right words. Use the specific words. If you do, it will be easier for the audience to follow you, to understand exactly what you have in mind. For instance, if you say that someone is tall, you are referring to the person's height. Your audience might know, yes, this person is tall, but is he fat or slim? Your use of the word tall has not given them that additional meaning or understanding they need. But when you say that someone is lanky, they will understand that this person is tall and also slim. When you say someone is huge, your audience will understand that this person is also tall and fat. So use of specific words is very, very important it will help your audience to understand what you are saying. Another thing you need to know about words is that you must use appropriate words, both for the occasion and for your audience. Public speaking is communication, and anything that will hinder communication should be removed. So, when you are speaking to your audience, don't use big words that they will not understand. Unless you are certain that because of the educational qualification of your audience, that most of them will understand the words you are using. But if not, make sure you use only words that they will understand. Let's progress to the third element that will spice up your speech. The third element that will spice up your speech is smooth transition. Have you watched a football match and you see the coach from the touchline shouting instructions to his players on the field? Have you also seen a site supervisor giving commands, giving orders to the site workers? Well, as a public speaker, bear in mind that you are not that football coach. You are not that site supervisor. You are a tour guide. See yourself as a tour guide taking the audience on a tour. If you're taking a group of friends around where you live, will you go to right when they are going left? Rather, you would like to take them along while you are going right. And when you want to go to left, you also take them along. The same thing applies to public speaking. When you see your audience as tourists and see yourself as the tour guide taking them around, you will always make sure that you are carrying them along. You want them to know the number of points you want to make. You want them to know the number of points you've already made. You want them to know when you are supporting an idea, when you are opposing an idea, or when you are moving from one point to another. That is what will help the audience enjoy your speech. Now the question is, how will I accomplish all this? The first thing you need to do is to use signposts. Signposts like ordinary signposts that will tell you this is this street, this is this street, this is this building, this is this shopping mall. That is how there are signposts. There are English words that serves as signposts. Use them. They will help you to carry your audience along as if you're a tour guide taking them around. Some examples of such signposts are words like firstly or first, second, third. When you are listing out your points this way, you help them to know the number of points you are discussing. It will be very, very helpful to your audience. Now, what of when you want to support a point? When you are supporting an idea, the points you are about to marshal out will support a particular idea. How will you help your audience to know that this point I'm saying now is supporting the idea we are discussing? There are certain words you can use. Here are some of them. Furthermore, moreover, additionally, also. When you use such words, it will help the audience to know that the point you are now saying is supporting the same idea. They are with you. What of when you want to oppose an idea? The points you want to make will be opposing an idea. Which signpost will you use to help them to know the direction you are going? You will use words like conversely, on the other hand, on the contrary, in opposition. When you use such words, the audience will know the direction you are going, that you are now bringing points that is opposing the idea being discussed. Sometimes too, you need to help your audience to know that you are moving from one point to another point, or that you are moving from one subtopic of your speech to another subtopic. Now, how will you help them to know that you are moving, you are transiting? There are certain expressions you can use to accomplish this. Let's look at some of them. Now that we have, let us. I have spoken so far of, but it is. Keeping these points in mind, let's turn to. Such expressions will help you to take your audience along when you are transiting from one idea to another or from one point to another. Let's use that first one as an example. I said, now that we have, let us. What if you say, now that we have discussed the causes of teenage pregnancy, let us now see how to help teenage pregnant girls. You see that you have taken your audience along. You've told them what you have already discussed, and you are now taking them along to the new idea, to the new point or new subheading you want to discuss. By doing this, you are carrying your audience along. The fourth element that will spice up your speech is facial expressions and gesture. How will you feel if a speaker is standing still like a tree throughout his speech, perhaps with his hands folded across his chest? Definitely it looks dull. It doesn't look inspiring, isn't it? So, facial expression and gestures are necessary in order to spice up, in order to garnish your speech. But bear in mind that body movements should be done appropriately. It's not every word you say that deserves a movement of the body. Because if you move your body with every word you say, you will stop being a speaker, you will become a dancer. And instead of your audience listening to your speech, they will be watching your dancing steps. So gestures must be restricted for emphasis. Another point you need to bear in mind is that your facial expressions can also communicate as you deliver your speech. For example, when you are saying something that is funny, something that is cheerful, it's good you smile while you are doing so. As you smile, your audience will know that you are at ease, you are in control. Because when someone is not at ease, the facial muscles will be tensed and the person cannot smile. So from time to time, when there is need for that, do well to smile. And if it is appropriate for the occasion, you can say one or two things that will also make the audience smile. You can also frown. When you are saying something that is important, something that is unfortunate, something that is sad, do you think it's wise to smile? No. That is the time you will frown to show seriousness. And your audience, looking at your face, will understand that it is time to be serious. Now, let's look at some examples of facial expressions we can apply in our speech. The first one, like we said, is to smile. Smile, it is very good. It will help to make your audience cheerful. When you are saying what is necessary, and that thing you can do is to frown. Your eyes can also communicate with your audience. You can open your eyes wide to show surprise, or you can shut your eyes to show that something is unbelievable. You can as well shake your head to show disagreement or to show that some ideas are repulsive. You can also nod your head to show agreement or acceptance. You can raise your shoulders to show indifference to what is being discussed. You can also open your hands, especially when asking thought-provoking questions. All these are examples of facial expressions and gestures that will help you to spice up your speech. I hope you will continue to practice these 4 elements we've discussed in this video. Eye contact is important. Use the appropriate words. Make sure that your transition is smooth, and also use facial expressions and gestures to make your speech lively, to make your speech unforgettable, to make your speech interesting. Thank you for watching this video. Our next video will focus on question and answer sessions. Sometimes public speaking requires question and answer. The audience will ask questions while you are expected to answer. What are you expected to do in such a situation? That will be the focus of our next video. Thank you for watching.